Welcome back. It's the Garage Report, and today I thought I'd take a little break from the reviews, and share with you 5 of my favourite currently being published Mad Cave books. Yeah, Mad Cave are really putting out some great stuff at the moment. I love indie books, and the problem with indie books is sometimes they go under the radar and they don't reach the heights they should do. There's some really, really fascinating books out there that just don't get read, and hopefully by doing these little videos, more people will find out about them if you've not already, and it will help push those books to the top. So I'm going to dive into my 5 favourites, but before that happens, like the video if you like the video, and of course hit subscribe if you can. I'd really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to build the channel, and every time you hit subscribe, it helps me and gives me that little bit of extra oomph to keep on going. So thank you in advance. Now, Mad Cave. If you're not familiar with Mad Cave, they've been building a reputation for bold, original stories, right? And they don't just stick to one genre. Their stories range from dark supernatural horror to gritty crime, high-octane sci-fi, and even superhero deconstructions. Now, these aren't just comics you read and forget. They're the kind of books that stay with you, the ones you finish late at night and then lie awake thinking about. And that's certainly what I've been doing about these 5 books. So today, the 5 books I'm talking about are very, very different titles, but all of them have something in common. They challenge what comics can be, and they take familiar genres and twist them. They twist them into something a little bit fresher. So grab a coffee, grab a tea. We're going to kick off with the very first book, which is The Pale Knight. Now, let's get into this story. So it's England. It's 1349. The world is collapsing under the weight of the Black Death. The air is thick with rot. Entire villages are nothing but silent plague pits. And into this nightmare rides Sir Hugh de Grey, a weary knight returning home from war in France, only to find his young son dying of the very disease that's consuming the land. And this is where The Pale Knight begins. It's written by Peter Milligan, one of the great British voices in comics, and drawn by Val Rodrigues. Now, this series isn't just a horror story, it's a meditation on death itself. Hugh does something unthinkable. He doesn't pray to God, he prays to death. And death, well, death answers. Now, what makes this book so chilling isn't just the plague settling, although Rodrigues' art makes you feel every single shadow and every festering street. It's the moral weight of the story that really resonates. Now, Milligan asks, if death could hear you, what would you ask and what would you give in return? It's gothic, it's grotesque, it's beautiful in its bleakness. And if you're into the Seventh Seal, if you love the tone of Hellboy or the creeping dread from Hell, The Pale Knight is a must-read. It's horror that doesn't just shock, it unsettles you, and it makes you face mortality head on. That's my first book. Again, this is about 3 or 4 issues in, and I absolutely recommend you pick it up. It looks beautiful. Now, let's switch gears from medieval despair to something equally brutal, but in a very different way. Eat Your Young. Now, issue 1 has just come out, so it's a perfect opportunity to jump on this book. I think it's going to be a mega hit. Now, this comic is all about family, but not the warm, cozy kind of family. No, no. This is the kind of family where love is tangled up with cruelty, legacy, and the hunger for power. It's written by Brian Buccellato, who you'll know from Injustice and Detective Comics, with art by Mattia Monaco. And this is a saga about immortals locked in a vicious cycle of survival. At its core is Edmund Irons, a warlord who's lived for over 2,000 years. And every century, his children are forced into a ritual called the Centurium. For 27 days, they must try to kill him and rip out his heart. And if they succeed, they claim his throne and eternal life. Now, if they fail, they lose their immortality. And if they fail, they're probably dead anyway. Now, what makes Eat Your Young so compelling? It isn't just the violence, though it's a raw and feral as the title suggests, but it's the way it ties into history and culture. The story will jump across decades and continents, punk scenes in the 80s, Cold War espionage, moments of rebellion, and intimacy in a crazy patchwork quilt of human history stitched together with blood. Now, if you want a comic that feels operatic, that combines the vicious family betrayals of Succession with the immortal warfare of Highlander, then Eat Your Young is the kind of book that you will love. So moving on, let's talk science fiction, but not the glossy, sanitized kind. No, Red Vector is messy, it's human, and it's grounded right here on Earth in the Sonoran Desert. Now, our lead character is Cora Martinez, and she's a park ranger. Her job is already complicated as she's caught between saving desperate migrants and turning away those who threaten the land she's sworn to protect. But her world is turned upside down when 2 alien warriors, fugitives from a civil war light years away, crash onto Earth. It's written by Tim Daniel and David Andry with art by Chris Evenhuis. This is space opera with dirt under its nails. Yes, there are alien weapons, robots, and interstellar politics, but there's also the reality of border struggles, of a community caught between hope and despair, of a woman who never asked to be a soldier, but suddenly finds herself holding the line between peace and annihilation. Now, what I love about Red Vector is the blend. It has the Star Wars style spectacle, but it feels rooted in the now. It asks what happens when a galactic war lands in your backyard, and what would you do if you were the only person standing in its way? It's got action, it's got emotion, and it's got humour. And if into District 9 or Rogue One, you're going to love Red Vector. Now, if Red Vector is about intergalactic conflict, Wild Animals is about something much closer to home. The violence simmering in everyday life. From Ed Brisson and Andy Kuhn, this is a crime comic that doesn't glamorise revenge. It strips it bare and shows you just how destructive it really, really is. The story follows Neil, a 15-year-old whose life has been shattered by the death of his father at the hands of corrupt cops. Years later, Neil is stuck. He's working in a dead-end job, he's drowning in grief and seeing no way out. Until one day, he gets a chance to strike back. Now, what follows is a descent, not a rise. And Neil's act of vengeance doesn't free him, but it pulls him deeper into a cycle of violence he can't escape. Kuhn's art captures that perfectly. It's raw, rough, jagged. Brisson's writing is sharp, unflinching, and full of painful honesty. This is a book for readers who loved Criminal, 100 Bullets, or Scalped. It's not about heroes or villains. It's about people pushed past their limits and the ugly truths that surface when they break. Wild Animals is a reminder that violence is never clean, and it's one of the most powerful drama crime stories that Mad Cave have published, I think. Now, on to the final book, superheroes, but not the kind that you're used to. Whatever Happened to the Crimson Justice? Well, I absolutely love this book. It's Mad Cave's first superhero comic, like I say, but it's not about bright costumes or epic battles. It's about memory, loss, and what happens to legends when the time moves them on. So, decades ago, the city's greatest hero, Crimson Justice, and his sidekick vanished during a hospital fire. Some said they died, others whispered they abandoned their duty. Either way, they became myths. Now, years later, an old foe returns, Dr. Mayhem, and with him comes murder, chaos, and the chance that maybe, just maybe, Crimson Justice is still alive. Written by Frank Tieri with art by Inaki Miranda, this series is pure noir. The man once under the mask, John Redding, is now a coffee shop owner, tired, broken, haunted by what he's lost. But the city won't let him go. And when old enemies resurface, the question becomes, does he put the mask back on one last time? This is Dark Knight Returns meets Captain America by way of Preacher, a story that deconstructs superhero mythology while still honouring it. It's about what it really costs to be a hero and what happens when the world forgets the ones who saved it. If you ever wanted a comic that digs into the emotional heart of superheroes, this is it. It is really, really good. I cannot recommend it enough. And those are my 5 favourite Mad Studios books, or rather Mad Cave Studios. I recommend you pick them up because, like I said earlier, a lot of these books just go under the radar and never to be seen again. And I want these books to continue because there's so many great creators out there who just aren't getting the coverage. And hopefully these videos are going to help with that. So if you've not read these books, pick them up and let me know what you think. If you are reading them, let me know what you think. But one thing I say that's most important of all is share these books with other people and get them reading it too. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Do let me know yours. Like the video if you can and hit subscribe too. I'd really, really appreciate it. So take care for now and we'll see you soon.